guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about what I participated in last week. So anyone who doesn't follow my other social media wouldn't know, but I participated in Decades Week. Now it's not a national, this week is Decades Week every year kind of thing. I just made it up. Last year I did the same exact thing. I did it near the end of May. This year I'm doing it a little bit earlier in May, so it's not the same exact week. I would have done it the same week, but I'm going on a trip that week, so it'd kind of make everything difficult. So I did it a little bit earlier, but I did it around the same time period in May, and I plan to continue to do this. Now, I dress vintage all the time, usually 40s, 50s, but randomly I will do a 70s look, or a 60s, or a flapper look when I'm bored. But I don't do a week of it. It's like a few videos here and there throughout the month, but it's not every day. So, from about May 3rd to the 9th, I did dressed up as a different decade every day. I went from the 1980s all the way down to the 1920s. And I had a lot of fun. I forgot how much fun I have with Decades Weeks. Like, they're really fun because it gives you a purpose every day. You're like, alright, I gotta do this outfit, this hair, this makeup. I should choose music from that time period. So you gotta look up music if you don't know a lot of the music during that time. And it's, sometimes you gotta learn some dances. I lazily did not. I kind of just spun around a lot, but it's fine. Maybe next year or randomly when I dress up, I'll learn some of the dances so it's a little more authentic. But I had a lot of fun, so I thought in this video I would go through each decade, why I chose the outfit I chose, show you some TikToks, and yeah, so let's get into it. First off, I did the 1980s on Monday. I had to rush through this because I had class and work that day, and I only had about an hour and a half, so I had to dress up, do all the TikToks, all the photos, I had to post them, and then I had to go to class. It was like very stressful, but I did it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. When I go 80s, I usually go the stereotypical shirt off the shoulder with a tank top strap. And then I had these awesome pants. My mom said they reminded her of rollerblading like carpet from High Roller. And I totally agree. I mean, I never went there, but I can understand that. A lot of people liked the pants. They were very tight, but they were really awesome. And I just, you know, did a ponytail above my head. My hair was fluffy that day, which really helped. I didn't have to do any product or anything. It was just my hair. And then I just did some makeup, and I danced around, and I had a really good time. Then on Tuesday, I did the 1970s. I had a few people say that it looked like the 60s, and I can understand that. When my grandma saw it, she said, like, late 60s, but I worked with what I had, so late 60s, early 70s, it's fine. I had aviators, I had a little braid in my hair, I had a very ugly floral shirt, and this cool vest with frills on it, which probably isn't authentic, but it was cool. And then I had these awesome pants. Now, they were legging material, so they were really comfortable, and they were really ugly, but they were bell bottoms, so it really fit the time, and they were really cool, and everyone was like, damn, nice pants, and I'm like, I know, I like the pants. I got them at a modern store, too, which is even better. Wednesday, I did the 1960s. Usually when I do the 1960s, I do a half beehive with some of my hair down kind of look, but I wanted to go for a more simple look because not everyone did a beehive every day. So I went for like a schoolgirl or good girl type. I wore a button-up shirt and then I put a dress over top. It's a little flatter on the top than I would have liked. If the dress was lower down, I think it would look nicer. But I went with that look, had my hair, had a bandana, did some very over-the-top makeup. It probably was not what girls would wear with that outfit. That was probably something they go not wear with the outfit I chose, but I wanted to do some 60s makeup with the outfit. Then, for Thursday, I did the 1950s, which I dressed up as all the dang time, so everything was Gucci. I could have curled my hair, but I decided to wait for the 1940s to do that, so I put my hair in a high ponytail, which is accurate to the 50s. Younger girls did wear their hair in ponytails. Then I wore a long skirt with a petticoat underneath it, so it was fluffy, and instead of wearing like a nice sweater or a dress, I wore my 1953 cheerleading sweater that I bought online. It's an authentic 1953 cheerleading sweater, so I went for a cheerleading type look, and I really do enjoy it. Makeup was as close to the 1950s style makeup as I could get it, and I just felt like really cool and cheerleady, and I'm not strong enough or cool enough or flexible enough to be a cheerleader, so I got to pretend to be a cheerleader for a little while, and it was kind of nice. Then for Friday, I dressed up as the 1940s. I curled my hair. Makeup is very similar to the 50s, so it wasn't really that difficult. My outfit, I pretty much wore my Peggy Carter cosplay, which is from the 40s, so it worked out. I wore a green blouse and a pencil skirt, and it looked really nice. The issue with the green shirt is that there's no button at the top. Like, it's very, like, a sexy opening. Like, it only buttons to, like, here. So you're like, woo! And I didn't want that. So I used a brooch that I have, and I pinned it closed, which is probably not that accurate, but I needed to make sure it closed, otherwise it'd be like, sexy 40s. And that was not my intention. For Saturday, I did the 1930s. Now, the dress I'm wearing is actually an authentic 1950s dress, but it's not as swing-type skirt, so it's a lot thinner, which helped. I pinned my hair, and it was still curled from the day before, so I pinned it, and I put it behind my head, and a very similar makeup, because the makeup between the 50s and the 30s weren't that much different. A little different, but not too much. I thought I looked very 40s. I was trying to look 30s, but a lot of the 30s hair had like these waves or were shorter, and I couldn't do that with my hair, so I did the best with what I had. I do think it looked more 40s than 30s, but I tried. The last look was yesterday, which was the 1920s, and I did a stereotypical flapper girl. The costume and headband I'm wearing, I probably got at a costume store or a Goodwill. It's very cheap. It's got frills. It's not very accurate, but I don't have any other like good flapper girl costumes yet. Now, I know anyone who knows about the 1920s knows that not everyone was a flapper girl. That was a very select group of people. Most girls did not dress that way, and I know. But I have no 1920s dresses that I could have worn. Like, that's all I got from the 1920s. So I had to go stereotypical flapper girl because that's all I had. Now, I still think it turned out good. Of course, the dress is not that accurate. It's very short, thin, and they did not look like that, but I tried. I think the hair looked nice. I tucked it into the headband, made it look all fancy. And for the makeup, I did a very dark eyeshadow, which is what flapper girls normally wore, and movie stars would wear this too. And red lipstick, and I put on a filter to make it black and white, you know, because obviously it was black and white. And I had a lot of fun. It was just dancing around. Woo! It was a good time. So, to conclude, I plan to do this Decades Week every year if possible. So next year I will do it in May. I'll try and do it the same week I did it last year, which was like the 3rd week in May, I think. This year I had to do it a little early, the 2nd week in May instead of 3rd. So I guess I'll see what happens next year, but I plan to do this as well. I'm not going to stop dressing vintage until next May. That's not happening. I will randomly dress vintage. I mean, I randomly dress 40s and 50s all the time. The other decades, they don't see as much of an appearance because I normally don't get up in my 80s gear and be like, what's up, guys? But hey, anything's possible. I could randomly just dress up as an 80s girl or a 20s girl or whatever I'm feeling like. I like to dress up and do photo shoots, so whatever I'm feeling, I'm like, yeah, let's dress up, woo! So, I guess it really depends on how I'm feeling. But I will not be doing it in a week format probably until next May unless I'm like, let's do 2 Decades Week this year. And we'll see. Probably not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun to have a mission. You know, you gotta do the hair, the makeup, the clothes, the music. You know, you have to have a mission. And it's really nice to have, like, a purpose, and you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. There's also a lot of work when you have to do it every day. I mean, I've been doing it every day for the last 7 days. I have school, I have work, so I had to work around it so I could do it, so I would have it up in time. It was kind of stressful, but I did enjoy it as well, so I will definitely be doing it next year. And, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not checked out the TikToks or the photos of my Decades Week, go to my TikTok and my Instagram. I have photo shoots of all of them on Instagram, and I have about 6 TikToks per look on TikTok. So you can go from 80s down to the 20s or the other way around and have a good time. Alright guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later.